All right, test, test, test. I think we're recording. Hello, this is Dave. This is What's Up Dave, the stream that I do to help people catch up with me on the internet, my friends and so forth. And today is October 10. It's about 7:30 p.m. here in East Coast time, New Hampshire. And it's also Groundhog Day Resolutions Review Day. Looks like we have audio, so that's good. Just shut that off again. So what I want to go over today is, partly the report, which I'm still working on, the Groundhog Day report. So this is the 8th review day of the year. So I start my Groundhog Day resolutions on February 2nd, and then I do a follow-up a month and a day later on March 3rd, and then later again on April 4th. And the cat wants to jump up on my lap, so if he does that, I guess I'll be okay. And today is October 10. Hey, kitty. And so today is the 8th report. And I might as well just jump right into it. There's a few other things that I want to show off. Like I got some index cards, and I got these things, which are like, how do you describe these? They're just cable management stuff. I'm obsessed about cable management. But I got a bunch of these post-it flag things. These are on sale for like $3. Which must be incredibly profitable for the 3M Corporation. But I wanted to use that with this new notebook that I got, which I labeled Steps. And in this notebook, what I want to do is write down things that are related to my goals. So like in here, it's kind of like a mini journal. And I thought I'd try this format out just so we could go look back in a month from now and see, all right, so what were the things I got specifically done relative to my goals? So, and then this notebook, I still haven't figured out what to do with it yet. So, anyway, let's take it. Let me open up Quiver over here. So let me switch to the screen view. And let me pull up Quiver. And let me expandify this. And so I started writing my review here. And so what I did is I copied the directives from last month's review, which is this entry. This is all my blog too. And I'd written, I want to revive my ability to share thoughts freely on a web platform. And that awkward phrase refers to, I don't like my website, basically. Directive 2 is to have the conviction to express who I am, what I like, and why. And I think this and why part, this is the justification I don't think I need. So anyway, I rewrote these yesterday, and I rewrote them again today when I was hanging out at Starbucks. I want a website that I like using. I'm just trying to express it as directly and unpompously as possible. There's a tendency for me when I'm writing down these goals to try to make them sound rational and self-justified and reasonable. And that's maybe a little bit dishonest. For something like having a website, there are no specific marketing goals that I have in mind other than to like using it, because I want to, this is related maybe to Directive 2, the expression part. The website is not only how I put my ideas on the internet, it's also where I do a lot of thinking and processing. One disadvantage of that is that if you look at my current website, a lot of my articles that I've written over the past 10-something years, they're a little bit difficult to read. What I want the new website to be is more of a curated, thoughtful, considerately written site. I'm still going to archive all the old stuff, but the new content I want to have a bit different. But what I don't like is I don't like using WordPress anymore because there's so many negative aspects to it now. Technically negative aspects. Mostly related to server administration and worrying about that. And having the flexibility for it to do what I want. Now, you can basically make WordPress do anything you can imagine. However, the nature of its generalized, updatable plugin system means it is somewhat inefficient, and you're reliant on finding someone who has already done exactly what it is that you want. And for someone like me who believes that they can code anything that they have to, but still doesn't like it, it's gotten to the point in which using WordPress no longer has like that sense of joy. I really want to make something not only that works well for me, but I can feel good about having made. And this is a general theme, I think, this year that's been uncovered, which is to become more of a, well, to make make worthwhile things, to make worthwhile projects. I have been stuck on so many of them because I've let my frustration get in the way of the ability to express, or as I put it more narcissistically, I've let my frustration get in the way of my genius. And I can disarm that by saying, like, everyone has their own geniuses, and we let a lot of things prevent us from doing those, to pursuing those things that we want to do, to pursue those things that have meaning to us. So anyway, number one, I want to make a website I like, and I want to have certain technical features that I feel good about, and I want to build it. And if I build it and close it off, I think that will close off a number of frustrations, and it will enable a number of means to express myself. Which goes right into the directive 2, which is, like, again, having the conviction to express who I am, what I like, and why. But I rewrote that as, I really want to draw strength from the audacity, from daring to enjoy those things I just happen to like in public and not feel like I had to apologize for it, or explain it, or have fear that other people might not like it. I should be my own reference point, and that takes a great deal of strength that I don't know if I have. And I think the upshot of it is, like, I generally want to be a positive and happy person, and rather than hunting for a source of that and clinging onto it like some sort of tick, sucking it dry of all the wonderful things of it, like, it much would be better to be like a net positive effect. And, that means to talk, I guess part of the audacity of liking what I like in public is, like, that sort of makes it okay for other people to do it, and to be able to create a kind of bubble around myself, or even a sanctuary where people can come and express themselves in a way that, is not judgmental. I mean, it could be, we can observe people and we can learn about people, but we don't have to judge them. We may decide that we don't like what they're doing, or we have no preference for it, but if we also have the resilience to not let those differences push us apart, but be able to embrace that we have differences and still come together, I think that would be, in general, a good thing. And so, I'm making this sound much more noble than I really intended to. I just want to be myself, and I don't want to have to apologize for it. So, like, I want to be able to like the things I like. I like things that are, like, shiny and decorated, and, like, I haven't really expressed that part of myself really ever. So I'm just learning how to do that. And I don't know. It'd be nice to be able to not be affected by what other people think, because that gets in the way of expressing one's genius as well. We can support ourselves. So, to get more specific about it, the October challenge, which I put here as the meta goal, which was to get some of these unstuck projects done. And if I click on this link over here, you can see it. I don't know if you can actually read this. Can I expand this? 1 second while I fix this. So I'll go to my accessibility control panel, which is where I think it's this. Accessibility preferences, and some windows should pop up someplace, and I'll click on the zoom and picture-in-picture options, and adjust the size and location, and move this window on this side where you can see it. Okay, so now that's all set, and I can click done here and close this window. So let me go to the split cam. Oh, not that one. This one? Yeah. What's the difference between this and this? Oh, I have two sides? Oh, this is the main cam. Alright, so main cam. So this was my October challenge here. So there was the intentful technical project selection. That means I am working on something and trying to finish it, essentially. And these are the projects. So it was the blog one, which I just finished talking about. Patreon, I've been like, Patreon and like the e-commerce stuff here down below. These are things just related to making a living and also maintaining the community. One thing that I'm already doing community-wise is I have the co-working chat room on Discord, which is continuing to chug along there. A few people discover it every month. The community slowly grows, and it's becoming, one of those. It's become something of the sanctuary that I was talking about before. Something that a place where I feel good about being in generally. Yeah, and so it's. I think it's the culture there is shaping up. The thing I can't forget is like it's unequivocally my space, and well, not yeah, it's a space where it's that I set the tone for it, while allowing other people to help define what that tone is over time as we learn to interact. That's been great. Some of these other things like the 1701 web framework, that's kind of a future work-related stuff to create some more learning science software enabling frameworks and code. And that will just generally work into doing things like making desktop apps. I've been looking this past week into a web framework called Electron, which allows you to essentially take a website and turn it into a desktop application. And that's pretty cool. And since I'm already using web app technology for this learning sciences project work, that means I can leverage the same knowledge base and potentially create cool apps like these task tracker things that I've wanted to do. And website technology, the underlying stuff with HTML5, has added quite a lot of capability to the basic web platform that frankly shocks me how good it is. It's not perfect, but it's viable, and that means one less skill set that I need to learn. Like, for example, doing iOS apps, whole nother infrastructure. Although there are a few options to look into that might leverage what I'm already kind of committed to at this point. Yeah, and then there's like the second thing, which is I haven't put into the goals there because I'm going to focus on other things this month, is just designing my appearance. And this is part of the expression thing, maybe. Yeah, this is part of the expression. So what is the style of clothing? What is the style of presentation? What is it that I really want to show? And in what way can I use how I dress and how I present myself as a means for giving people clues about who I am so they might want to engage with me? I don't know why I want to do this, but there's this draw to it. Maybe I've been feeling too closed in my entire life, and I'd like to open up more about things. Because I think it would be good, like not having that feeling that like I may always have to conform or be affirmed or be socially acceptable, to create my own nexus of acceptability, my own sanctuary. Like I used to describe this as like being the mayor. So when I'm going to a place, like let's say you're the mayor of a small town, and you go to another place, but you're the mayor. You're the mayor of like this town, the town that you that you live in, and you're proud of your town. So you go to another town and you introduce yourself. I'm the mayor of so and soville. And says, and you can say, oh, you've done a wonderful job here with your town square. Like, you gotta talk to who's in charge of this. Like, I'd love to talk to them and just pick their brain. And then, but then, like, if they ask, oh, so what's your town like? So you start telling them, I'm like, oh, it's a beautiful town that we have wonderful people there, and some of the things that we do, or we have this person who does this, we have this person that does that. It's located like on like the fork of two rivers, like in upstate New York, and we have an apple festival every year, and I'm down here recruiting vendors for this. Do you know anybody? So you're bringing this sense of like you representing the town, and you're bringing the spirit of the town with you. Yeah, that's how I imagine. I don't know if all mayors are like this, but it was something that I imagine would be cool about being the mayor. So you can be, I suppose, the mayor of your own internal domain, and maybe that's what I'm trying to do. What I have inside, how can I convey that to other people in such a way that says like, damn, I want to visit that place, or this sounds like a great place, or, maybe I should move there, or maybe I should just like, it's great to know about this. I feel invited. I feel informed. I feel that there's a place that maybe I would enjoy going to. And that's maybe the spirit I want to be able to convey with this personal clothing thing. So like today I'm kind of dressed in my default, everything is black so it blends. So I think V-neck t-shirts work better on me than I originally thought. Because I had such a round face, maybe? I don't know. And I have such a lack of hair on top. It kind of starting to look like Heihachi from Tekken, except not buff. But this is if I got a slightly nicer shirt, and I got maybe some different pants and these black jeans I'm wearing. These shoes are okay. These are nice shoes. They're a little bit workmanlike, but what can I do to accessorize this? And instead of just being the generic person that I'm dressed like a backstage hand, you're not supposed to notice me. But what can I add to convey at the hidden wonders of this place that I'm from. You know, that's what that goal is about. And so that's what I'm going to be writing about today when I get back to the finishing the writing. Now, are there other things that are on my mind? Yes, there are. One of the things is, like, that's not on this list, is the e-commerce side of things. I didn't mention that before. I sell stationery on Amazon. And well, I'm going to fiddle with this and pull up, enable the secondary camera. So I'll run this application called NDI. Let me make sure that I'm connected to my network, because there's an annoying habit of iOS to switch to, okay, I am on my network, to switch to Xfinity if it can't find my existing home. Maybe they fix that in iOS 11. That would be wonderful. So anyway, this NDI app, what this does is, I need to turn off the microphone. I think it's recording now. So I need to actually run NDI. So here is, what did I just do? There's this. Now I'm going to pull up over here the NDI monitor program, which I can never find. Except for update. And then I'm going to connect to this, and hopefully it will connect. So there, I connected. So now that I have NDI running on this, what I can do is switch to the NDI view, which is here, I think. Alright, so let's go full screen NDI. So here's some stuff I'm working on. Let's do its drive-by of the cat. Hello, kitty. You're on TV. But over here, so you see this big pile of boxes? That pile of boxes is stuff that I just had shipped back to me at my own expense from the Amazon warehouses, because during the holiday season, they triple the storage cost. The estimated cost of storing all these unselling products, it was over $1,000. It was like $1,500. So some of the things that are in here, and they did a terrible job of shipping them, by the way, are things like this. This is Emergent Test Planner loose leaf sheet. So I had done a test marketing thing where I'm, that's weird, this one was double labeled. I did a test marketing thing, which I made 100 packs of each of these. There's 4 different ones. So this one is the 150 pack pre-punched, and then all these other ones are various versions. So I removed about 30 units of each one from that, and I think that's what all these are. They're coming from different warehouses too, which is weird, like, and getting multiple boxes. So there's also, I think, 75 sheet pads I'm having returned too. But what I'm going to need to do with these is I'm going to figure out, like, you know, how to recoup this, and also just come up with some kind of marketing plan, like, for this, because I've been neglecting all that stuff. Here's another box full of what these are. These are are these the V? This is the new. These are version 4 ETP pads. These weren't selling either, and I actually had them returned so I could, like, do something interesting with them. I think I just need to promote. But, you know, making shiny graphics and stuff like this, updating my Amazon listings, and, you know, this is where maybe the new website comes into play as well. For getting all that sort of stuff to work. So I mean, that's work. That's stuff I have to do. Yeah, and I think in the past, what's prevented me from doing these things is just, like, as I mentioned before, the frustration getting in the way of my genius. And hey, kitty. So what I think I'm in the mood for now is to be able to actually put the time in, and I've had an insight about time. Now, my professional training used to be largely about being creative on a timetable, and so my introduction to doing and making things was based around production. That means a schedule, that means a project manager, that means estimating time, that means logging time, and trying to do it as quickly as possible for demanding clients who had no time for you to do things the right way sometimes. So I've since, like I haven't worked in an environment like that for a long time. You know, but still, it's hard to shake that, what they call the manager mentality of it. So you want to make something cool, right? So like, as one reason why you leave the work is so you can do your own work. You can work on your own projects. And so you have this idea like, oh, I'll have the freedom to work on anything I want, and it'll be great, and there's someone telling me how to do it or how long to do it. But in the back of your mind, all you've known is project management and other people setting the expectations and other people affirming that the work you've done is good and paying you for it. You've been trained as a highly capable, time-sensitive hamster running in this wheel that dispenses pellets of food, which you can use to buy toys. Well, not everyone's like this, but this was a mentality that I had afterwards, because I was not. Yeah, I always thought there was something missing, and I knew this, and it was driving me crazy. But it was a difficult thing because I am so, I think by nature, very sensitive to how long things take. How long does it take me? I want to know. In fact, I want to know before I even start it. And I think a lot of people are like this in general with, like, we're going to do some work that's going to be demanding and difficult. If there is no guaranteed reward and there is no path to follow, it's like 10 times harder to follow through with that, unless you have the nature of being able to do it. Or someone's forcing you to do it, which is what it is when you're working in other places and there's other people around. But if you're working by yourself, there's the only person to tell you what to do is yourself. And I don't even like it when I tell myself what to do. So, the interesting insight I had the other day. So, keep in mind, like, I'm obsessed about time. How long things take. So I'm constantly aware of it. I'm so obsessed about time that when I have to be someplace tomorrow, let's say, at 10 a.m., I cannot stop thinking about how much time is left between now and that time tomorrow. And I'm so aware of it that it's hard for me to focus and think about anything. Because once I start thinking about it, I just remember I had to be at this place, I had to be at this place, I had to be at this place. Great mentality to have if you're a responsible manager. Terrible if you're trying to get anything done that requires your full attention. Or hard to do anything really well or anything really original if these other things are constantly getting in the way of you. So, but like, I think I found a way to harness my obsession with time. By accident yesterday, I was making I was stir-frying some vegetables. And I had bought some uchoi, which is a kind of Chinese vegetable that's sort of like a combination between, how do you describe it? It's a leafy green vegetable. It's kind of like a really tough spinach or something like that. Let me see if I have some pictures of it here. You synchronize the folder. So I was making uchoi, and so what it involves is, like, I had to, like, clean everything. I had to chop it up, and since the uchoi has, like, these tough stems, you want to cook those first. So you chop the stems off, you cut them thin, you throw them in the oil with a little bit of garlic, and you cook them first, so that, like, for a couple of minutes. So when you put the leafy part of it in, you don't overcook that part while you're trying to cook the stems. And as I was cutting it with my sharp chef's knife, I was very much aware that I didn't want to cut my fingers off, especially since, like, my nails are longer right now, and it's a little bit it feels a little bit different, and so I deliberately slowed myself down. Now, the interesting thing I think about that, this didn't even do it. So as I was doing that, I became aware as I was doing it is that there seemed to be a natural rhythm that was dictated by the knife itself. Like, I knew it was a little bit dull, so I was being a little bit extra careful, slowing myself down a little bit. The position of my fingers, the texture of the meat, the size of the meat, and then I found that, like, I think I can sense how fast I should do this. And it's the nature of the work itself and the nature of the materials and the tools that I have that are dictating the speed. And I found, or I believed, that I had an intuitive sense of time and this is something that I've never experienced before, that like the time itself was measured between actions, that the time itself was not like this measured thing that was outside of the activity, but it was implicit in the activity itself. The very act of cutting, observing, reacting, so by being in there, I was suddenly in, I found an accessible way of reasoning my way into the flow of things. And that was just by observing what I was doing and adjusting my sense of time to the rhythm that it dictated. And so I actually made, like, this is probably the best stir fry I've made out of Uchoy with this meat. It was not overcooked. Usually I kind of mess it up a little bit, but it was interesting because what I did was I kind of gave into my intuitive sense of like how long things should take, in that like I was looking at the materials, and you know, and this is maybe true of cooking in general, like you're kind of testing things, and there's all these things you can look for to test for doneness, but I had never done it on a continuous basis, just by intuiting like what I know about this process, what I know I'm capable of doing, what I'm getting terms and feedback from as I move my hands, and I smell things and I hear things, that suddenly time itself became a tangible, salient quality rather than some external authority or some kind of comparison metric that determined my worth or determined my quality of speed. The time itself was implicit in the action. And I think this insight is going to help me out this month. And I need to make sure I write that in. So I tried it with other things, like when I was washing dishes, putting things away. Those like if all I was doing was like just the way I would phrase it, I am looking to find the implicit timing of the activity, and I am trying to discern what that timing is. And I found that for whatever reason, I could either manufacture it or believe that I was sensing it, or I was actually doing it. In either case, it's about the same, but it was a way of being mindful without saying, all right, now be mindful. How do you be mindful? Well, clear your mind. And all this ambiguous BS that people tell you all the time. You know, that's supposed to get you in the space where you can sense things. Well, I guess it's not BS. I mean, but it's not specific to me, and I think I've discovered the specific mechanism by which I can find my mindfulness. So I find that very exciting. So I think that's about it for now. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Let me pull up this. Yeah, it's about 30 minutes. This is about long enough. So I'll be working on the rest of that stuff today. There's a few other things I need to do, like the framing project. I wrote down all the frame sizes, so I'm going to order this from American Frame. I also want to just take off this old nail polish and this, you know, my nails are all messed up and stuff, and I'll just go a day without it and let them breathe for a few days, and then figure out if I want to do it. I think I've actually settled on this color. I like this color a lot. I even got a compliment today on it from somebody, which was like kind of great. So that's today's What's Up, Dave. Thanks for following along, and I'll check in tomorrow with an update on the Groundhog Day Resolution Report. I'll post it on my website, and hopefully I get some stuff done on all the other projects. See how that goes. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Wait for Kitty. Oh, sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. Or maybe I did.